just talking to each other now.
Are we rolling?
Oh, we're rolling. Hey guys, welcome to the I'm Doing Great podcast. Another episode, another day. Here we are, and we're spending it here with you. Thanks for being here. A couple of things to say. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified. Gina's about to say smash that like button.
Smash it.
Yep, she did it. And doinggreat.locals.com, we have seen a big new group of people become members, which is what we want, because that is where we do some exclusive content like we're going to do later today. We're going to do some Q&As specifically on locals. So if
Just
you guys...
for you. Just for our commune.
Yeah, our communism.
Our communism.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't become members of locals, please go over there and do that. A lot of people have been asking questions like, hey, I can't see the video, because you have to pay for it. So anybody can sign up and become a member of locals.
Right.
Sometimes you get access to some content that we upload there for free, but you will see like a little disclaimer on a video saying this is for paying subscribers only. Yeah.
Right.
Supporters. Yes. Supporters. Yes. Mm-hmm. Paying supporters. So go to doinggreat.locals.com, get on there, join the community. It's a fun community. It's fun communism, not bad communism.
It's a good kind of communism. I shared my banana pancake recipe on there the other day.
I saw that.
Gave my baby.
Yeah.
That was free content.
Yeah, we make similar pancakes.
It's so easy.
I can't remember what Carly does. It does. It's good.
Tastes really good.
How big are yours?
Tell you what it is.
Ours are about the size of this thing.
They're not
too big.
I was making them too big. I need to make them a little bit smaller.
Yeah,
it's definitely bigger than that.
Make banana pancakes with bananas on top and syrup.
Banana pancakes.
A great replacement for cane sugar, for processed sugar, is maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Natural sugar.
Yeah, it's so good.
It tastes like that out of the tree.
I've always wondered if it tastes just like that, if you just go and...
Yeah, if you see ingredients, maple syrup.
Yeah, I think they heat it just to get the consistency, but it tastes exactly the same.
Yeah. So another episode, obviously another debrief.
It feels good to be just solo again. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
Has it?
Episode maybe 31. I think maybe after Christopher Yuan. I think we had a solo episode.
Oh, we did the Q&A. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
That was good. So we had Fic Nuentes back on again. That was fun.
Yeah, one of our lovely viewers and commenters said, I bet you guys noticed a dip in your views, so you brought on Nick Fuentes.
Oh, did they say that?
And I was like, yeah, dude. It's like we bring on people who the public doesn't necessarily know who they are, so it's not a surprise that wouldn't get too many views.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we didn't
whatever.
do that because we noticed a dip in views.
I mean, thanks for the strategy, though.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Now
whenever
maybe
we
we'll
dip on
use that.
views, we'll bring on John or Nick.
We'll bring back
or someone.
Fic.
Yeah. That was fun, though.
That was fun. And then what was even more fun that wasn't on the show was seeing Fic sing the Black Happy Birthday song at Bryson's birthday party on Saturday.
I saw that on your Instagram.
That was funny. That was very funny. I asked him, I said, how does it feel to be cultured? He was like, I'm black now.
Yeah.
I was like, you're an honorary black now.
He's a horrible racist.
I know. He really is. What a white supremacist, or is it nationalist?
Yeah.
I don't know. Which
you
one to use.
would figure that a real white supreme would get sick at the thought of an idea about even going to a black barbecue.
I know. He was surrounded by a lot of black people.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, was he melting during it?
Supremacist. That's what Ben Shapiro calls him. He's an actual white supremacist.
Yeah, that's what he called him.
Right.
I mean, I guess when you're in the business of making things up.
It's just so, it's like he does the same exact thing that he cries over the libs doing to him.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, do they call Ben Shapiro a white supremacist?
They call him a Nazi. And he's like, I'm Jewish. Oh, well, how could you call me a Nazi? And it's like the same. It's the same thing. It's as if, you know, Nick
is Mexican. How can you call him a white supremacist? Yeah.
It's just so dumb what conservative Inc. does to people like Fic.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Speaking of conservative Inc., did you see Jack Posobiec got arrested or detained?
No.
In Davos, Switzerland at the WEF. Savannah posted a video on her Instagram.
She did? Yeah, I spoke to her the other day, but I haven't been in touch with her in the last.
Yeah, good for Sav going all the way out there to Davos and doing the real reporting.
No, yeah, she's really crushing it.
Yeah.
I was talking to her before she left. She's like, I'm a little nervous about going. I'm like, don't be. Okay, so he got arrested?
Got arrested or detained.
Oh, I see here.
Yeah.
I see. Breaking, U.S. journalist Jack Posobiec has been detained by police officials partnered with the World Economic Forum. They refuse to tell me the reason he and his team have been detained. He shares that police pointed guns at him and stopped him because he, quote, looked suspicious. They detained him for over an hour until I continued to press them as to why he was being held. They left shortly after I began reporting on his detainment. Full report to come. Wow, that was an hour ago.
Yeah.
Nice work, Sav. Oh, Jack. Who thinks Jack is a Fed? Somebody thinks Jack is a Fed.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. He seems cool.
Feds
can seem
this
cool,
is
though.
the problem with us. This is the problem with us. And I noticed that there was a comment that was like, why didn't you ask Nick about this, and this? And I said, well, we had a show. I can't ask him now. The show's done.
Yeah.
The show's posted. So
what do they want us to ask him about?
I don't know. Just, they had some sort of question that I guess they might be regular viewers of his. That they were curious about why we didn't press him about something. It had to do with something about his stance on Russia. And I returned the comment with my usual, have your own show and you can ask him all the questions you want. And I wasn't even being facetious. I was serious. It's like, if you're complaining about the questions we ask, we don't ask them, especially after the show's over. It would have been different if they would have hit up our Instagram like, hey, can you ask him about this before we even taped? It would have been different.
Right.
But it's after the fact. The show's uploaded. I can't go back and ask him a question. So that's why I'm like, start your own show and ask him all the questions you want. Like, whenever I say the start your own show, I'm usually being serious. I'm not being like snarky and, trying to be funny. I'm just being serious.
Because
start
you
your
can
own
ask whatever you want on your own show. I mean, there was the first time that he was on, somebody got mad because we didn't press him about the Jewish lobby.
Right.
And they were like, people are always trying to find a reason not to talk about it. And we were like, dude, you can make a show and have an entire episode with him about it.
Well, it's not even
it's
that.
Not like we don't want to talk to him about it.
It's not even that. We ended that show with asking Nick, hey, what's something that people should look into?
Right.
And he said that.
That's what he said.
So look into it.
And then the guy got mad that we didn't press him about it. I don't know.
Yeah, the problem is that I think a lot of people don't really necessarily understand what the show is. I think they think it might be more of a more composed interview sort of thing where we press our guests and stuff like that, where we're really just having conversations with them.
We're just having a conversation, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, to our ignorance, I'm not all that familiar with Nick. That's why I get accused of, being a grifter. It's like, oh, you don't know about Nick, all that, except for that he's popular and that he's controversial, so you bring him on to boost views.
People
And I'm
say
like,
that?
oh yeah. And I'm just like, no, well, I find him to be a curious individual, and we asked him to come on, and he comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it is.
I mean, back to the Russia thing, why we didn't press him more on Russia. I mean, I don't know enough about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So
same. Yeah, a lot of people wanted us to go in about the drama that's been going on,
like in the
with
movement?
him and AF and stuff like that.
I'm not
and,
into that.
Someone was like, "Yeah, not one question about so and so and this," and I said, "Sorry, we're not a gossip show."
I honestly don't care. Yeah. I don't care whatever happened with him and somebody else in the movement, and then him and I don't care. That's not content that interests me. Where Mike and I are not the kind of show that's going to sit and gossip about what's happening on other shows or other movements. Like, I'm not interested in beef.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just not.
I'll critique another show.
Yeah, I mean, it's different when you're criticizing someone's thoughts and someone's content, but it's a completely different thing when you're gossiping about somebody, like people disagreeing over something or a fallout. It's like, I'm not interested.
Especially when the other person's not even there to defend himself.
Yeah, I'm not interested. It's not even like I'm taking sides. No, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm much more interested in somebody's thoughts. Like when Nick's here, I'm much more interested in hearing about his thoughts on, say, immigration than some beef he had with somebody in his movement.
Right, exactly.
So sorry to disappoint you on that.
We'll clear it up. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of wanted to make that a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we want to debrief over? Who else have we had on? I feel like everything's been
Dr.
such a blur.
Amy, who you had your summit with.
Yes.
That seemed fun.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling Mike before the camera started rolling, Dr. Amy and I did my labs. I got my blood work done. We mentioned that on the episode with her. And a lot of things look good. Like my I don't have any gut issues or anything like that. But I'm in a constant state of dehydration because my adrenal glands are exhausted because of chronic stress. Who would have thought? New mom, chronic stress. And especially the year we went through last year. And my adrenal glands are not producing this chemical called aldosterone. I think I'm getting that word right. And what aldosterone does, it attracts attracts sodium. And sodium attracts water.
And that dehydrates you.
So I'm not attracting and retaining any of the water I'm drinking. I drink 120 ounces. That's a gallon a day. I drink a gallon of water a day, and I'm still in like chronic dehydration because my body's just not retaining any of the water. And then what happens when you're not retaining any water is that when you drink a lot of water, it makes it worse because it disrupts the balance between sodium and water even more. Yeah. So drinking even more water has been making it worse, which is why I told Amy, we sat down and went over everything. I'm like, no wonder I'm always thirsty. Like I drink a liter of water and I'm thirsty.
Where's your water bottle?
It's here.
How big is that?
This is 40 ounces. So I drink 3 of these
Oh, wait,
a day.
you have a Hydro Flask. Okay. Mine's 32. Can we put them next to each other? Yeah, mine's 32. I think I probably have about 2 of these a day, and I probably should have more.
Yeah, you should probably have a little more. I mean, right now my goal is between 80 to 100 ounces a day until I get
it's like
this.
2.5 of those, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got some work to do with Dr. Amy because I need to go to bed earlier, number one. And it's tough because I was telling you before, when my daughter goes to sleep, I get a lot of stuff done. I get a ton of stuff done around the house. I do stuff on social media that I need to. I'll like get timestamps for the show and things like that. I end up staying up to like 11 or 11:30, but then I wake up at like 4 or 5 to pump because I have to pump before she wakes up. So I get extra milk. And so it's like a non-negotiable. No matter what time she wakes up, I get up at 4 or 5 to pump. And it's just not enough sleep. And that's causing a lot more stress. So my number one thing is turning off all the electronics. I'm going to hire somebody to do some social media stuff for me. I just need to get my adrenal glands happy again. So,
well, how did that summit that Dr. Amy did with you?
Oh yeah, it was great. Weekend? So this past weekend I did a health and wellness event. It was my first, it was like on my launch event, I guess, of the health and wellness business that we run.
Good turnout.
It was good. Yeah. I think I would probably say like 50-ish women came. Gave out goodie bags. We had a couple tables and vintage clothes shop and snacks and stuff. And it was really fun. We had Dr. Amy there, and then my friend Jillian was on the panel too. And then it looks like women had a good time. It
spawned the idea, and we talked about this, of doing a live event for not just couples, but I think people in general. We would obviously, want couples to show up, but single people could come too. And we talk about relationships and stuff like that, like relationships, being a conservative. I think that could be cool.
I think it'd be cool. We also toyed with the idea of having, I guess debate would be the word, someone from Orthodoxy, from Catholicism and Protestantism to come and discuss.
Yeah, do a live show.
Yeah, do a live show, and then have people come and listen, because it was at the Foundry, which is a really cool event space. Mm-hmm. That would be a fun. We were talking about maybe like 50th episode.
Yeah. So the thing is, I thought initially 100 episodes, like that would be great.
Yeah.
We'll do a live show on our 100th episode. But then when we got down to doing the math and the amount of content that we put out per week, we were saying like, wow, that might be like 7 months away.
It's a long way away.
So
yeah,
drop in the comments. 50th episode, is that the right thing to do? You think the 50th episode?
Would you come? Would you come to see us in Nashville?
Yeah. How fun would that be?
That would be really cool.
That venue is big enough to where I'd be comfortable with the amount of people that would show up. I think that we could sell out that venue with not necessarily having a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think it could accommodate, I think 100 people in there comfortably would be nice.
I think that would be it.
Yeah.
Because
it'd be cool. We could do Q&A and stuff as well, and giveaways.
I think Antifa would show up. We're not big enough yet. We're not a threat enough yet.
No, but yeah, why would you? Yeah, no. And I think...
You never know, though.
Yeah. What would they protest, though?
I don't know. Us?
The most
hate speech. They would protest our hate speech.
Oh.
I hated it.
What is that from?
It's the episode of The Office when I forgot what it was, but Michael Scott said this to Stanley. Somebody did something to Michael's car or something, and he was like, "This hate crime."
Oh, the watermelon.
No, it wasn't the watermelon. Oh my gosh, guys, if you know this, you got to put it in the comment section.
It wasn't the carpet?
It was the carpet.
Okay,
it was the carpet where Packer plays a prank on Michael Scott.
Carpet, right.
And it's like this nasty thing in the carpet. And Michael Scott's calling it a hate crime. And Stanley goes, "It's not a hate crime." He goes, "Well, I hated it."
Yeah, that's right. Funny. Gina's a huge Office fan who's recently become obsessed with a certain Office Instagram.
The bloopers. It's still my favorite show. I don't know why people hate on it. It's so funny.
I don't think people hate on it. I think they hate on it after a certain point. Like after Steve Carell leaves.
After season 6 or whatever it is.
Season 7.
7.
It's gone. 8 and 9 are kind of
bad.
The
first season is still so great, especially Diversity Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were watching So we watched the PGA Championship yesterday. I had a buddy come over with his wife and baby, and the kids were playing and the wives were talking. We were watching golf. Shout out to Justin Thomas for winning his second PGA Championship. But after there was a 60 Minutes episode we had on in the background, and someone actually did Scott's Tots, but followed through. So they sent the kids, they promised the kids college, and they sent it. They sent it.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make your dreams come true.
Not today.
Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do?
Can you, even as many times as you rewatch that episode, can you sit through it without cringing?
Never. I can't ever sit through it without cringing.
We were talking about that, and we were saying, how the power of a writer.
It's so good.
To write something like that, and the effect that it has on every single person who watches it, just feeling so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and also Michael Scott, Steve Carell, he's so good at comedy that he can be bad at comedy in his character. Like, Michael Scott is a terrible comedian.
Right, exactly.
Michael Scott tries to be funny, and it's so unfunny. And Steve Carell is so good at comedy that he can be bad at comedy as his character.
And it's still funny.
That was
a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good.
Did you follow me, guys?
I like the debrief episodes. We could talk about whatever we want.
Yeah.
We talked briefly about the Justin Bieber concert. There was a little bit more there that I want to get into. I think it'd be better to get into it with you.
White excellence.
Oh my God.
He meant it. He meant it too. It was just something really that he genuinely said. It was so funny.
Someone put it in the comments, Bieber supremacy. I thought it was pretty funny. Should we come out with merch and just put Bieber supremacy on a t-shirt?
That would be so
Or
good.
Would we get hit with some sort of like trademark infringement?
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or we can
going through a lot of that recently.
What if we made some merch Justin Bieber's white excellence? That would be funny.
Listen, remember how in one debrief we talked about legal troubles, but now in this debrief settled the legal troubles.
Okay.
They've come out all right.
Mike came out on top.
Came out on top. That's all I can say legally.
Yeah.
Because, you sign a thing where you can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it. But all you need to do is that he won.
Yep.
They effed around and they found out.
They found out, I guess, is what they can say.
As the kids say.
As the kids do say. Yeah, but the Bieber concert was really cool. And my buddy, I think halfway through it, and he's yelling this in my ear, but I won't yell it, but he was like, how does this feel? Does this feel weird seeing, what you used to do and being back here? And it did. The weird thing about it was there were a lot of, obviously, these girls have aged. So when I was there, these girls were 12 and 13, and it was kind of like a junior high auditorium, but like 30,000 girls screaming.
Right.
And when I was looking out, I was like, wow, these girls are all like, 24, 25 years old. That was 10 years ago. That was 11 years ago. So it was amazing to see.
The fan base has changed.
No, they haven't. They're still the same girls. They've just gotten older.
Right.
Yeah, which is great to see. And just even the set design, the creative design that my friend Nick, who started out as a dancer, became choreographer, and then became the creative director.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's the guy who's responsible for everything that you see, all the visuals. And then my friend Taylor, who's Justin's DJ and A&R, was pretty much on the side of the stage that we were closest to the whole time. And it was great seeing that whole thing.
Does he do things like come down from the ceiling?
Yeah.
Come up from the floor?
Yeah. So they have an elevator built into the stage that he'll drop down to and change if he needed to. Well, and that was interesting in itself, because when I was there with him, he would do like 8 costume changes a night. But this one, I think he just took off his hoodie, and that was the costume change. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're Bieber now. Who cares? Let it easy.
Yeah.
But he had moving stages, so he had different platforms that moved along that some of the dancers went on top of. It was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, he went on top of a plane. He came out in a plane. That was interesting.
Wow.
And yeah, the shout out at the end of the show.
When you toured with him, how many shows would you do in a week?
3 to 4. But you do that for 3 to 4 months. Yeah.
So you're basically on the road.
3 to 4 months, back for 1 month, and then you go 3 to 4. And then you do, and that's just domestic. And then you do the international stuff, which is the same amount of time, but that's just nonstop. Is at least when you're domestic, if we're in New York, I can see family on a day off.
Right.
I can kind of relax.
Yeah.
The international stuff is just constant and busy. So
yeah,
they were on a grind. I think they were on a 5-month stretch.
Did Hailey Bieber go with him on? I think she just goes with him, right?
I don't know if she was there that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd never met her.
Because he was with Selena Gomez when you were.
Correct.
What was she like?
There's a bit of history there that's not all positive. But when I was there, she was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So who asked this? Oh, that's for the Q&A. I can't address it. That's for a Q&A that I'm doing, my YouTube upload.
Oh, okay.
The Q&A that I'm doing. Someone asked. I can ask the question. I guess I can answer.
Yeah, ask
Someone's
the question and then you can answer
it.
it.
Is JB based?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to
there's a little bit
one.
of that I'm going to answer. I thought that was but that show was interesting.
Okay.
And
where was it?
That was at Bridgestone in downtown Nashville.
Okay.
But that time in my life, I was thinking about things a lot, and it applied to, I think, the way that I react to, let's say, the comment section in YouTube. So back in the day, if you had a group of 100 people, 99 people would be like, Mike, you're awesome. You're the best. And then it'd be the one person who'd be like, you suck, dude. Yeah. And that one comment out of 100, that one negative comment gets under your skin.
Yeah.
And it makes you question everything about yourself. And I think I take it so personally when I shouldn't. That's why when someone has, the most minor critique of the show, I get defensive about it. And it's not helpful probably in the long run.
No, it's not.
But I can't help but to defend this show's honor. You know what I mean?
Defend the show's honor.
Yeah. So
people are always going to have shit to say.
Well, that has stemmed from that because as an artist, as a creator, it doesn't matter who else is hypercritical about your work, if it's positive or if it's negative, but you're always going to be your own worst critic, but it's the negative comments that get under your skin so much.
Yeah. But that's what they want too. They want to get under your skin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of that probably stems from, jealousy is probably, the main driver influence of comments like that. Get your own show. You don't have to be jealous of the show. Get your own show.
What's the saying? It's something like the people who criticize you or troll you are never as successful as you are.
Yeah.
It's always people who are doing worse in life than you are.
Yeah, and it's like I kind of hate to quote Gary Vee, but
Gary
at
V.
some Instagram reel, and he was like, I don't even know who my competitors are. I don't know their names. I don't know what they're doing. I wish them luck. I don't know about them. I can't do a Gary Vee impression.
He's so annoying, but he's so effective.
Who's Josh Lacash? Josh Lacash is hilarious. Go follow him if you haven't. We've had him on the show.
I love Josh. He's a friend of the show.
What did he say? He said something like, I'm going to write a self-help book about... Oh my God, hold on. Keep talking for a second. I'm going to find this DM.
He also
absolutely hilarious.
He also said something really funny today. He's like, hey, do you want to make passive income?
That's what it was.
You should write an ebook
that's exactly
about making passive income to teach other people how to make passive income.
Like you'll make so much money.
You'll make so much passive income.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, that's what he said. And
He's so funny.
I said, do it. And he said, I should do it. I said, bet you won't. And he said, because I'm lazy. And I said, maybe. He said, I forgot what we were talking about. I said, I honestly don't know who you are. He said, are you Mark? And I said, are you? He said, no idea. I said, okay. Also, Biblical Chad, thank you for being a fan of the show. These DMs about pitbull attacks, don't need them.
Oh, wait, I want to see them.
You want to see them?
Yeah. Are they...
I was doing something and then my phone started going off. And
that was
I said,
so funny.
Either someone's really mad at me but look, these are all the memes, the anti-pitbull memes.
These are all from Biblical Chad.
These are all from Biblical Chad. He's going to appreciate the shout out though, which is nice. Maybe I'll clip it out and send it to him.
Oh my gosh, these are funny.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to share them. No, they're not going to be put on the screen.
Oh my gosh, right when you're hungry and your next door neighbor comes home with her brand new baby.
Maybe I will put a couple on the screen because it's kind of funny.
Pitbull Education Month. These are funny. I thought it was so funny when Nick had a very strong opinion on pit bulls and we had no idea what he was going to say. Pit bulls hearing that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. That one is savage.
So, speaking of people in my DMs, talk to Fleckus a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you should see the conversation we had because I feel that there was a little bit of a little bit of conceding language almost.
On his part?
Kind of. He won't admit to it, and I'm not going to go in depth about the discussion, but I ended it with, thanks for proving my point. And then he said, no, you proved my point. And then I said, who are you? So Fleckus is going to come on the show, obviously.
When's he coming on? He's still in Florida, right? He's living in Florida?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. We're talking about end of June. So maybe.
We have, should we announce the next two guests?
Should we tell people who is coming on June 2nd? Because remember, I put the thing on the story.
Yes.
And listen, Michael Knowles' no context got really upset that I wouldn't tell him who it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. I mean, I can't tell one person and then not tell everybody else,
Okay, so we'll
right?
tell everyone now?
You're not even our no context. And I wouldn't even tell our no context.
We love our no context.
I probably would tell our no context.
Yeah, we will, because he or she, it's a he.
It might be, yeah.
It's a he. He's the only person that we follow who's not us.
Right, exactly.
That's how much we care for him.
Yeah.
Or her. I thought Libs of TikTok was a him, but it's a her.
Yeah.
And
you
I told
would,
her,
right?
Yeah, I told her, I was like, when I first found out last year that she was a woman, I was like, are you mad that I'm a little bit surprised? She's like, haha, no, it's okay.
Wait, so she's out now, right?
She's out now.
Could we have her on the show?
No, she doesn't do
or no face.
She doesn't do face. She only, when she goes on Tucker, she only does audio. So we can have her in, but no camera.
What if we have her in with like a black piece of cardboard in front of her?
Put a paper bag over her.
Yeah. Could we do Libs of TikTok? If you come on the show, could we just put a paper bag over your face? Because I don't want to cover anything that will cover the mic.
Oh my goodness.
How great would that be?
That would actually be pretty good. Well, Regis is going to come on.
Oh, really? Are we going to put a paper bag over his
whenever,
face?
hopefully if he does come on before he moves.
Okay.
Wherever he's moving, which is an undisclosed location.
So listen, okay, I might as well announce it now because when I put our little real extravaganza clip of, the next guest, you'll know who it is, but I might as well tell people now, right?
Yeah, tell him.
Okay, June 2nd, Kai Schwemmer's coming on the show. Finally, we've arranged for it, so Kai will be on the show.
We're definitely going to ask him about soaking.
We're also he's going to go in depth about primates. Can I play, hold on, I have to play one of the audio notes that because I said, hey.
Oh, please, I want to hear it.
I said, talk to me about this baboon. And honestly, like, look at the voice notes. Do you see? Like, that's, okay. So I said, tell me about this primate, and it was a picture of an orangutan, okay?
Okay.
I won't play it from the beginning because the first one is a 54-second clip.
Okay.
But I'll put a picture of Kai's face
okay.
up here while his audio is going. Ready? Let's see if it'll play. Come on. It should play.
Kai Schwemmer. I've been wanting to have him on for a long time. I want to ask him about Mormonism.
Does Instagram audio, can you play that even if it's been a while?
Yeah. No? Yeah, you can always replay voice messages on Instagram.
Why can't I do it? I'm pressing the play button.
While you're figuring that, I'll also tell you who the next guest is after Kai. Ajax. Alexander J. Cortez. Alexander J. A. Cortez. Ajax. He goes by Ajax.
I was looking into his stuff more.
He's great. He's
no.
He's a personal trainer.
Is he a Hindu?
He's a Renaissance man. No.
He's posted a lot of Hinduism stuff.
I don't think he's Hindu.
No.
His wife is Indian, so maybe he's interested in it. They're expecting a baby, which is really exciting. He's going to come on. He'll talk a lot about, I don't know, anything and everything. He has good takes. He has a really interesting take on fast food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he eats McDonald's like once a week.
Oh, yeah. Someone was trying to shame him over it, I think.
Yeah, and he rips people apart whenever they talk about fast food.
Guess what? These voice notes aren't playing, but he sent me. I don't understand why they're not playing.
So one thing I wanted to talk about today that happened last week, which I'm sure many of you saw, was this release of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition issue, which is, as you know, an annual edition of beautiful women in bikinis, which has been an annual thing since I think 1963. And back then, up until very recently, it was an edition that was made for men to look at beautiful women in bikinis or in swimsuits, because Sports Illustrated used to be, a magazine for men.
Yes.
And last week there were four cover girls released. So they had 4 different colors. Covers. Kim Kardashian, Sierra, Mae Musk, and Yumi something.
Who's Mae Musk?
Elon Musk's mom.
Oh, wasn't she a model?
She was a model. She still is. Yeah, she models. She has been modeling since she was very young. She was also Miss South Africa, I think, beauty pageant winner. She's 76 or something, and she's the oldest cover girl for Sports Illustrated swimsuit. I mean, I think it's really great to see older women who are healthy and take care of themselves the way that Mae Musk does. I mean, does she belong on the cover of a swimsuit? Sports Illustrated swimsuit? That's a question. I mean, look, if Sports Illustrated swimsuit is still made for men,
right? There's a historical context to it.
I do wonder if she's the right person to be on the cover. But, it seemed to be divided what I was seeing online. Half people were like, this is really cool and empowering. The other half was like, I'm not into geriatrics. Like, sorry, this is not attractive to me. Yeah,
because the way I always thought of it was that the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition was kind of like, light pornography.
Yes, that's what I think it was supposed to be. Right. Like, yeah, light.
Hot girls
porn.
in swimsuits.
Hot girls in swimsuits. That's what it traditionally always was.
But now it's not that anymore. It's just like, hey, let's social justice swimsuit edition.
Last year they had a man.
Oh, yeah.
Swimsuit edition who called himself a woman.
Like Borat?
With the lime green. No, but it was some I think Thai or Filipino guy who, got all the surgeries done.
Oh, a ladyboy. No,
maybe.
ladyboys still have the things.
Yeah, he might still have his junk, but...
So what started ticking your clock about this?
Well, because one of the other cover stars of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition was a very fat girl.
Yeah.
Her name is Uni something.
Should I put a picture right here?
Yeah.
Why do I always do this?
Throw the picture up there. Yumi Nu is her name. And this whole thing kind of went viral last week because everyone was talking about it, of course, and Jordan Peterson commented on it. Mm-hmm. He tweeted a photo of Yumi Nu's cover. And the thing is, she's very pretty. She has a really pretty face, right? If you, yes. She has a very pretty face.
Yeah.
But she's really overweight.
Wait, let me see it again.
She's overweight.
Would you overweight? Yes, but would you say really overweight?
I would say really overweight. I think she's definitely 30 pounds overweight for her size.
Okay.
For her height, probably.
Yeah, she's not Marilyn Monroe.
She's not, no. Okay. And this is and I talked about this at my event this weekend. The original body positivity had the right thing in mind. It was the idea of celebrating women's natural bodies that don't fall into the mold of the size 0 supermodel, because that's if you think about all the models of the 1990s, they just hit the
heroin
genetic
chic.
Heroin chic. They just hit the genetic jackpot, and they probably starved themselves in a lot of cases too.
Right. But not healthy either.
Not healthy. But so body positivity was meant to celebrate things like maybe you're a size 6. Maybe you have some stretch marks from pregnancy. Maybe you have a C-section scar from pregnancy. Right. Maybe you're naturally a little bit thicker, but still healthy, you know? But now body positivity has been hijacked into putting an obese woman on the cover of Cosmopolitan and literally having the title, "This is Healthy." Did you see that cover last year or something?
Yeah, Gavin would just say, "You're dying."
Yeah, and that girl is dying, Jessamine Stanley. I know.
Who's the one with all the tattoos?
Is she the fat one?
Yeah, remember I've sent you a couple of her.
Tess Holliday. She's obese.
And what do they do with people like Adele, who lose weight, who try to get healthy? They ridicule them. Who's that actress, that Australian actress that lost?
Rebel Wilson.
We were watching a movie.
She did so great.
Carly was watching a movie. She's like, "This movie's funny. Let's watch it." Because she started watching it, and then I came along and I was like, "Who is that? Why does she look familiar?" And she said, "That's Rebel Wilson."
Rebel Wilson.
So I got my phone. I said, "Whoa,
humongous
no
weight
way."
loss. Yeah, and you know why? What prompted her weight loss? Fertility. She wanted to make sure she was fertile enough to have kids.
Really?
Yeah, which is that is a serious concern.
Was she ridiculed for losing weight?
Yeah, for sure. Her and Adele, they definitely got some comments from fat girls online who said things like, I find this is really hurtful to me because you are my body icon and you were an inspiration for me. Which is just it's all about them. It's just all about you all the time. But if women like Rebel Wilson and Adele have done an incredible job losing weight and getting healthy, and they look beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, they look beautiful. Objectively, Adele looks much better today than she did when she first came on the scene. She was obese.
Right.
She was very overweight. And so this girl, Yumi Nu, she's pretty, but it's just one of those things where what are we really doing here? What are we really promoting? And so Jordan Peterson tweeted this, and he said, "Sorry, not beautiful, and no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that."
Really?
Which is interesting. I don't know. I just would never. I guess I would expect Jordan Peterson to comment on something like this, but this is a hard stance.
That is
not beautiful. No amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change it. He got wrecked. People have been they went crazy over this last week, and they're posting screenshots of him and saying, "Dude, look at you, you're so ugly." But the whole point is that nobody is putting him on the cover of a magazine and saying that he's beautiful.
Exactly.
He never is trying to claim that he's some sort of model and beautiful. This is a better picture right here, and you can throw this one up too. That's
Screenshot
unhealthy.
it and send it to me.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're trying to prop this up as beautiful and trying to redefine what beauty means. Yes, I understand that throughout eras and cultures, the cultural idea of what is beautiful will slightly shift and change, right? Like during like romanticism, women they had a little more meat on them.
Yeah.
They were not fat, but they didn't look like what Kate Moss looks like. They didn't look like what Blake Lively looks like. They just had a little bit more on their figure.
Look why corsets, were used.
Yeah,
to accentuate the hips and the top.
And in a lot of time periods when a woman was softer and had a little more fat on her, it indicated a couple things. It indicated fertility. It also indicated high class, because women who were able to sit around and eat more, they had access to different types of food, and they didn't have to be out in the fields working. It indicated a higher class.
Sure.
And that was sort of the representation of beauty. So I understand that in different times of history, the idea of what is beautiful will slightly change. But a really overweight model, that will never, ever be accepted and should never be accepted as the standard of beauty.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Do you?
I think I know who's pushing this sort of stuff.
Oh, I think I do too, but go ahead.
Big food.
Yeah.
Big pharma, right? So they put someone like this on the cover of a magazine and say, this is beautiful, this is healthy, because they've done that before. This is healthy. What do they do?
That's their actual headline.
You have an incorrect food pyramid that's telling you to eat all these things that you shouldn't be eating. You eventually get to that size. You made a lot of fast food companies money. You made a lot of, Kellogg's and all these other different types of companies. You made them money. What do the pharmaceuticals do? Oh, they try to sell you stuff to lose weight. And not only that, because you get to that weight, you get to be sick.
Yep.
So then the pharmaceutical industry says, hey, we've got these medications that will make you feel better.
Yeah.
But telling someone who is obese to exercise is wrong. Telling someone who eats too much to not eat as much is wrong.
Why?
I don't know why.
It's not wrong.
Oh,
you mean they're saying it's wrong?
Yes, of course.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I think the conspiracy.
I would add to that and say, and I said this in my talk over the weekend at my event, I believe that there is an intentional, coordinated effort to encourage women to self-destruct in mass amounts. This kind of content, it's deliberate. It's not an accident. They really want you to be unhealthy. They want you to be sick. And this is what I texted you last week. This is not some shallow thing that we're talking about. The idea that women should be beautiful is not shallow. It's not misogynistic. It's not sexist, because when you talk about the roles of men and women in culture and society and the way that God created men and women, out of the two genders, women, it is our duty in a way to embody beauty. Mm-hmm. I am not talking about beauty like Jennifer Lopez beauty or Hollywood beauty. Booty.
Jennifer Lopez booty.
I'm
always in there with the euphemisms.
I'm not talking about beauty as in like the perfect, sculpted face through plastic surgery and size 0 and the perfect hourglass shape. No, I'm talking about this ethereal sense and the embodiment of beauty. That's what women's role is when you're talking about the two genders. Women embody beauty. That's one of our...
What a great thing.
It's one of our sacred duties on earth.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that beauty is something where it's like you have to be like a naturally beautiful person all the time, like perfect face, symmetrical face. No, I'm talking about women who are not even like that. It's gonna sound bad. Women who are not like that attractive can still be beautiful. It's about your spirit. It's about your femininity. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about what you wear. Like a really good example, I don't like her. I'm not a fan of her by any means, but Ivanka Trump, she's not pretty, her face, right? But I think she embodies beauty. I think she dresses really well. I think she carries herself with class.
Sure.
She's had a lot of plastic surgery, but you get what I'm saying is that she embodies beauty. She's a good example of somebody who's not like traditionally didn't really hit the genetic jackpot.
Sure.
The Trumps did not hit the genetic jackpot when it comes to beauty, but she has found a way to really carry herself. And so when we're talking about pushing this kind of content of really obese women, fat, saying this is like the new standard of beauty, this harms women by telling them that being unhealthy and treating your body poorly and overeating and being fat is a good thing. you are harming the spirit of femininity. You are destroying the beauty that women are supposed to embody in society. And I think it's a really serious thing that's happening. It's not shallow. It's not something to just be laughed off. It's a coordinated effort on women to self-destruct. They want us fat.
Yeah,
they
how are you
want
going
us
to carry
to be
yourself
ugly.
if you can't even carry yourself?
How are you going to carry your kids if you can't even carry yourself?
Yeah. How are you going to carry yourself if you can't walk?
Poor Jordan Peterson. I mean, but he's used to being dragged for anything. I mean, they're sharing like these truly ugly screenshots of him. And they're like, oh, and Vosh responded to him. It's like, he's like, it's all right, sir. I like men too. It's like, so you're gay because you don't like fat girls?
Well, that's that guy.
These people are just, but it's like
Bosch
a lot of this
kids
stuff.
as well, so.
A lot of these comments are like, oh, so you're gay. It's like, all right, so I don't like fat girls, so now I'm gay. Like my husband doesn't like fat girls.
Guess I'm gay.
Like what?
If that's what it takes to be gay.
So women, it's a good thing to be beautiful. It's a good thing to take care of yourself and carry yourself well and be in shape. Again, you don't have to be a size 0. Oh, there was a comment that somebody put on our YouTube. They were asking, does Gina think that everyone should be a size 0?
On what video?
I forgot what video it was. It was
Maybe
a while
Q&A?
back. Maybe.
No?
And like, obviously not. Like, obviously women have different types of frames and different types of bodies. And I always warn women, you see a lot of content where they're like, if you do this kind of workout, you're going to get like a Victoria's Secret figure. If you do this kind of workout, you're going to get this woman's figure. There's no workout in the world that can give you anybody's figure. You have your own natural figure and you have to figure out what that means for you. You may naturally be a size 6. You may naturally be a size 0. You're definitely not naturally a size 14. Let me tell you that right now. Nobody is naturally obese.
Yeah.
Nobody is naturally fat, but absolutely women have different sizes and different figures. I was never a skinny girl, never a skinny girl. I've had a bit more muscle on me than most women usually do. I've always been more athletic. I do not have the classic hourglass shape. However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to get really fat and say that this is my natural figure and society just needs to change its beauty standards. So it's a good thing for women to be beautiful and you should strive after beauty.
Yeah. Debrief. We had a post going viral on TikTok for a little while there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think it's got almost 500,000 views.
Hose being hose.
Hose being hose.
A lot of people are just, they're so... The amount of argument and excuses to kill babies goes beyond me.
The mental gymnastics they use to justify the murder of innocent babies in the womb is insane.
You know what's kind of crazy? They always go to the hypothetical, what if your daughter was raped? And I've come with a new response to that. And I say I would advocate for that child. I would want to hang the rapist and I would want to advocate for the life of that child.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's because
the answer.
they ask you that question so that you can become emotional and they can put you in a position where you can't think rationally. But the response is, I'm advocating for the life of the child. You're not. You care more about the rapist than you do the life of the child. You'd rather kill a child than kill a rapist.
And also, they exploit the pain and the suffering of women who have been sexually assaulted.
Yeah, like real victims.
They exploit that so that a hoe can get an abortion because she doesn't feel like waking up early in the morning and being responsible for a child.
Yeah.
That is so heinous. To all the women out there who have survived rape and sexual assault, you deserve better than that. These women, their pain should not be exploited for hoes to find some reason to kill their own child in the womb. That makes me so upset because I know women who have suffered sexual assault, real rape, and the fact that these pro-abortion baby killers want to use their pain and utilize it and exploit their suffering to try to justify abortion is just, it's disgusting.
Yeah, and then you point out to them, and we're saying, listen, we want you to, you're using these extreme and horrible and really emotionally fueled cases to try and talk about the overwhelming majority of reason why
it's the
people...
vast minority. So the video that Mike's talking about on TikTok, I talked about how the fact that less than 1% of abortions have to do with rape, incest, or the health of the mother. Actually, it's 0.5%.
Yeah.
I even misspoke in that video. I was generous. I said 1%.
You said 1%, yeah.
It's less than that. It's half of that. It's 0.5%, which means 99.5% of abortions are just women who they just either they have promiscuous sex or they don't use a condom.
They're
or
abortions due to convenience.
Misuse birth control, or they just don't feel like becoming a mom, and so they kill their baby. Yeah. Elective. That's disgusting. That's so disgusting that 99.5% of abortions are just elective. So if you're willing to have the conversation, I always ask them, so are you willing to have the conversation of maybe abortion just existing for rape? Because if you are, I'll talk to you.
Right.
But if you're not, then that point is moot. There's no point in even bringing that up. If you don't think that abortion should just be available for rape and incest and cases of the mother's health, then don't even bring it up.
Yeah.
What's the point?
No, there is no point.
I mean, I don't like. I would have a conversation, but I still don't think that abortion should be.
It's honestly the one issue that I think I've moved the most on.
Yeah,
because I think I used to have that libertarian position of like, you can't tell a woman what to do with her own body.
I used to too.
Yeah, and then you move over from that. Why is the government involved?
It's
if the government's making laws against murder,
it's like, what, you can't tell a man to do with his body so he can rape a woman?
Yeah, exactly.
That's retarded.
Yeah. We're just vessels. We're breeder. Someone called you a breeder. Someone was like, okay, breeder, then how do you explain the foster care system? Do you care about them then or something like that? I'm like,
such a dumb
the
question.
foster system sucks. It should be cheaper and it should become easier to adopt children.
But it's also like, okay, so because the foster
system... Are you going to
system,
open your doors to kids?
Yeah, I would.
What is this?
I mean, I would, but even if I wasn't going to, you shouldn't kill your child.
Right, exactly.
It's like they look for reasons.
Yeah.
It's so sick and twisted. They look for reasons to kill babies.
Yeah. Well, that's the it's akin to the immigration debate about illegal immigration. Like, do you still lock your front door at night? Would you accept illegal immigrants into your house? Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, that's not the point. And I donate to a lot of you're doing the same exact thing that I would say to you if you asked me, well, what if your daughter was raped? Okay, well, would you adopt all these kids?
They really ask that?
Yeah.
I've never heard someone ask that.
As a man, yes. As a man, they ask you that all the time because the initial feeling for a guy if his daughter is raped is you want to kill the rapist, right? You know what I mean? That's your daughter.
And hanging's not even good enough. I would slowly torture him.
Yeah, torture is good.
I would put him in a basement and
I
slowly
advocate for the
him.
death of the rapist and the life of the child. That's
Absolutely.
what I do.
Yeah.
And listen, the whole idea of force is you're forcing us to have babies. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. What I'm doing is simply advocating for the life of these children. That's all I'm doing. I can't force anyone to do anything.
There's no such thing as forced birth.
Right.
That's total nonsense. So if everyone ever, so what do you guys just care about forced birth? There's no such thing as forced birth.
There's induced birth.
There's induced birth.
That they're trying to get the baby out safely. Yeah. Usually when they induce the kids. So that, that's been some of the stuff that's been happening to us.
It's been happening
over the last week or so.
There's been a lot of trans kid stuff, more stuff coming out too. Did you hear about the Wisconsin school district that is charging 3 middle school boys with sexual harassment?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because they referred to a girl by she, her.
Yeah.
They referred to her with the correct pronouns.
Middle school, yeah.
Yeah, and they're charging them with sexual harassment.
Well,
and referring Title IX.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Title IX sexual harassment, which deals with, again, real sexual assault. What a slap in the face to women who have been actually sexually assaulted.
I know.
And you're citing Title IX sexual harassment because 3 middle school boys called a girl she.
Yeah.
Are you guys insane?
And this is the stuff that they're saying, well, we don't need, we don't need the don't say gay bill. This stuff isn't happening in schools. Yeah. It's happening in schools.
It's happening. And then there was another thing I was reading. There's this, quote, wellness center. I use that term very lightly, but that's what they use for themselves, called Mazzoni, the Mazzoni Center in Philadelphia. Mm. And there's a lot of stuff coming out about how this organization they have these programs that they do in public schools that teach young kids how to use a penis pump in their underwear for the girls who think they're boys.
Oh, sure.
And they teach how to hide your genitals, and one of the women who works there in a Zoom meeting says that we should be teaching kids about sexuality from the minute they are born.
Groomers are going to groom.
Groomers are going to groom. I mean, these people are so sick in the head.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding when I say you do not belong in civilized society.
No, I don't think so.
When you say stuff like this.
No.
At all.
It's happening.
It's happening.
They willfully put it on, on TikTok and on Instagram, totally free will. They're doing it. They tell us what they're doing, and then they say, oh no, it doesn't really exist. Oh no, you're the ones who want to ban books in schools.
They gaslight us.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, so when they talk, we should listen because
the parents
they tell
are domestic terrorists because they voice their concerns to school board meetings.
Exactly. And that same woman who was talking about teaching sexuality to kids the minute they were born, saying that they want to teach kids how to withhold information from their oppressive, religious, intolerant parents. It's like they think they own kids. Mm-hmm. The state, they think and this organization received $5 million in government contracts last year.
Really?
Yeah.
The one in Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm. The Mazzoni Center. It's just disgusting what's happening.
Not good.
And this is why I always say people they respond to our response about the trans agenda and they say, what do you care? It's not affecting your life. Mind your own business. This trans thing may be the single most important social issue happening in America today. And there's no way you can change my mind about that because it's
especially about how quickly it's happening.
It's running. Yeah, exactly. The rate at which it's taken off over the last 5 years. Did
you know anyone trans pre 2010?
No,
pre 2015.
The first trans person I knew was in 2011, but that's only because I was at an incredibly liberal Ivy League school, and that's it. But like outside of that experience, the first trans person I met was 2018.
Yeah. Well, you said in your talk when you were talking alone, you said that back there, and they were using they them pronouns
in 2011.
2011.
When I was in graduate school, I knew people who were using they them pronouns, and it was like widely accepted.
Yeah.
Imagine that in 2011, you probably didn't even occur to you that could be a thing. In 2011, I was in the thick of it.
Weird.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's bizarre. And I'll never forget her name. She called herself Johnny, and she demanded that everybody called herself they, them.
Do you think it's going to be an important voting issue for people in 2024 or even 2022 maybe for the midterms? But I don't know if 2024 is going to be a big thing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
2024. What do you think's going to happen in 2024?
I don't know. I usually don't it's too far out.
It is. I
don't even like starting to talk about presidential elections until the year of.
Because the political landscape changes so quickly. It can change in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You don't really know.
Oh, well, I don't know if we talked about it, but Madison Cawthorn, lost his seat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. His response to even before he lost his seat, his response was like, he did a video, I think, where he said, he wrote this in a caption, there has never been such a coordinated attack on anybody in our American society other than Donald Trump.
Yeah. And himself?
Yeah. I'm like, come on, dude. Other people have been attacked in the same way. Like, right. You're not that special.
Yeah. No, I always thought he was a caricature.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Neither do I. But it's just from what I see. Listen, you're a public figure. I'm able to, have some sort of comment about, what I think you present. I always just thought it was like a caricature of like MAGA.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I totally see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what we've talked about before. I don't really follow like politicians because they're not so interesting
much.
to me.
Yeah. There are a couple who I like watching them get mad at like Senate hearings and congressional hearings that are fun. Like Jim Jordan's one of those people. Rand Paul's one of those people.
Rand Paul for sure.
Is it Mike Johnson or something Johnson? He was the guy that asked a medical doctor, when do you consider someone a human? Like, when does someone get personhood or something? And she says, well, the minute you have to be born because that's what birthdays are for.
No, she said, that's why we have birthdays.
That's why we have birthdays.
Birthdays.
Yeah.
Who was that woman?
She was a doctor.
She has the IQ of a tampon. No, so she's either one of the dumbest people on the planet or she willingly lies.
I think she's a medical doctor.
Which I don't know what's worse.
Yeah.
It's the second one. The latter is definitely worse.
What? Just
her lying? Just lying. She knows that. So like 8 months ago when my daughter was in my belly, what was she, an alien?
Right. Was she a dog? I think a qualifier of being a human is having 2 human parents. I think that's like the most important qualifier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You were made from 2 humans.
2 human parents.
Yeah.
Human DNA.
Made an embryo.
Birthed through a vaginal canal of a female, which is what a woman is, an adult human female. Just in case,
human female. Just in case you needed to know that definition.
Our Supreme Court justice hasn't gotten that yet.
Do you think that Roe v. Wade's going to be overturned?
I don't know. Like to say what Nick said, he doesn't want to be presumptuous, but yeah. I think so. I think it'd be great if it happened.
It would be good. I mean, it's just a start, but it would be really good.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a start.
Yeah, don't kill kids. How about that?
It's so simple. I can't believe we're here where it's like we have to argue this.
There are places, people say, we need to be more like Europe, we need to be more like Scandinavia. Those countries have stricter abortion laws than we do. Do you know that?
In Denmark, though, they abort 100% of Down syndrome babies.
I think it's Iceland. It's either Iceland or Denmark. Yeah.
Which is just so upsetting to me.
Well, you know how they say more women are going to die if you restrict abortion. And then I was reading who talked about it. I can't remember who talked about it, but then I started reading into it that in a lot of countries that have gotten stricter abortion laws, the death rates, the maternal death rates have actually gone down.
Michael Knowles said that.
Yeah, he actually maybe that's who it was. Yeah.
He compared 1972,
right.
the deaths from abortion in 1972 to the deaths.
Well, I think it was 12.
In 1974.
I think illegal abortions, people say we're going to have back alley abortions. Women are going to die by seeking out their, abortionists on the street corner. I think the year Roe was passed, or not passed, but the year Roe was decided.
Yeah.
I think something like 12 women died from like back alley abortion. So.
Yeah, and so that's obviously another moot point. But
yeah.
What else is going on in culture?
I don't know.
A lot of trans stuff happening. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial has been like blasted.
This is why I'm thankful that we don't do a 5-day-a-week show about the news, because there's just too much. There's too many things happening.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I like the debrief episodes.
The debrief episodes are good. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what else has been going on. I don't know. I feel like it's been kind of a slow week. I'm excited.
Just started.
Yeah.
Monday.
Well, last week was slow.
Yeah, last week was slow. We have to upload more content. I think that's what...
We will.
Here's a question, and because this might directly relate to the next IDG on the street, how do you like going up to women and asking them, what is the most important quality you look for in a man?
That's a good question.
You think that's a good question?
I think that's a really good one, because it makes me think.
Yeah. Guys in the comments, drop down what you think the next question could be, who it's maybe geared towards, if I should... I don't want to say target women, but if I should maybe approach women more than I do guys, and then even ask guys like, hey, what is the most important trait or characteristic when you are dating you want to be exemplified, or you want to project, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can still ask guys a similar question.
Where are you guys going to go to do the interviews?
We wanted to do it 12 South.
Okay.
Kind of busy retail area.
Okay.
I think that could be interesting, right?
That would be a good one. I like it.
And just talking about, we get questions a lot about people's relationships and stuff that we answer on our Instagrams. And this could be an interesting sort of side from the usual political or cultural questions that we've asked. I think this could be kind of cool, and it could give younger guys an idea of what women are looking for. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the biggest trait you look for in a man?
It's a good question. I mean, there's a couple things that come to mind.
Is strength a trait, or is leadership a trait? Strength is a physical thing, right? But it could also be sort of...
both of those I feel like can be earned and developed. Not earned, developed.
Honesty, openness.
Yeah, I think a really big one for me is like a man's ability to commit to family. Like...
devotion.
Devotion. That's... Yeah, because a lot of times devotion... it can be learned, but it's less likely to be learned than something like leadership. I think men are very capable of learning to be leaders, even if they weren't like naturally born a really strong leader, or they weren't taught to be a leader when they were young. I think all men can learn how to become leaders.
Yeah.
But that's definitely an important quality. Devotion's a really good one, because some men are just... they just have a wandering eye more than others.
Sure.
And that's a really, really hard one to rein in.
Well, what does scripture say? If you even think about, adultery, you've already committed it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And something that I was thinking about on the way here, I was thinking about if we ever did, like a relationship summit or something like that. Cause I've gotten questions, how can I find a steady relationship, or, what's the best way to act in a relationship? And I could just talk about my past is putting women on a pedestal. It's like simping. It is probably the most egregious thing one can do when involved in a relationship, because it is such a selfish thing to do when you put a woman on a pedestal, because you may think that you're thinking about that person and that you're putting them first, but you're just putting yourself first. It's for your own physical needs or for your own emotional needs. That's why, going back, you'd get into a fight or you'd have a disagreement, and then you'd do anything that you could to get that person back or to talk to you again. And listen, I don't want any of that. And then you do stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about the other person. Simping. Don't simp, guys. Remember, you talked about that.
Yeah,
stop simping.
You got to stop simping. And I think it's also one of the reasons why women are so empowered to act like, how do I put this nicely?
Like what are you thinking?
To act like sluts.
Oh, sure.
I think once you put women on pedestals, they are emboldened to act in poor ways.
Yeah.
So it's just a lose-lose for everybody. Now, to say stop simping doesn't mean that as a husband or a boyfriend, you can't, do things for your wife,
right?
Or serve your wife when the time comes.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that. But you can treat your wife well and respect your wife and do things for her without simping.
The anti-milady, like that kind of, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do the milady. Well, speaking of simping, Gavin McInnes, our friend, he uploads on censored.tv, which you guys should all go and subscribe to. He uploads old episodes from his Gavin McInnes show that he used to do in New York. So I was waiting for this because I was on the first episode that he did with a live audience. I was on there.
Really?
I was in the audience. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I'll show you a screenshot after. And then maybe a couple episodes after that, I was on the show. And this was back in 2015. And someone in the comments was like, oh, that's the guy from the I'm Doing the Great podcast simping for, no wonder why he was simping for Gav on his episode. He's playing the long game. I was like 100% playing the long game. But like when people ask, like, how do you know Gav? Like 7 years ago, I knew the guy.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
it's so funny.
It was funny. I had an embarrassing moment on there because he gave the audience a microphone. So whenever he would want to engage with the audience, but you can only see it. It's behind a paywall. So.
Were you living in New York at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was before I moved to LA.
Before you were in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to New York, then moved to LA for a year, then came back.
I miss California food.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? Tacos and sushi, really?
No, they have healthy food that tastes good.
Oh, healthy food that tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's tough down here.
It's really, really easy to find healthy food over there. Like it's very easy to go somewhere and be like, get just easy protein and some rice and some veggies at some restaurant.
There's some healthy places down here that are pretty good. Like Ian Rose is pretty good. Have you ever had Ian Rose?
Yeah, I like it. It's just that it's
expensive though. Jeez.
It's expensive, and I'm just like acai bowls are fun every once in a while, but it's not like
that
I want to eat.
Caught myself last episode with Nick there. I did blaspheme at the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Over
it was a mild one.
Uh-huh.
But I caught myself when I was watching it back. I went, oh, darn it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Someone said, Mike, you almost made it a whole episode, but you're doing really well. I said, yeah. And is it because people have been asking about our religious journey right now. And I think we're in a pretty cool and interesting place. And I think we should go to that Orthodox church.
Yeah, I want to,
We should go there on a Sunday.
Yeah, Adriano's interested in going too.
Yeah. Still on the journey.
Because we're still going to Pastor Michael's church, which, I love. It's definitely like one of the only Protestant churches in a long time that I feel comfortable in and really like. And they teach the Bible and there's a big emphasis on the Bible, but I'm definitely interested in Orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still open. Like I said on the episode with Nick, I'm still open to Catholicism too, but
people are trying to save us.
Yeah.
You should see the back and forth between people talking about Christianity, Orthodox, and Protestantism in the comments. Oh yeah. They're going in there. I don't touch those. I leave those alone. I said, you guys have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no get your own shows on that one.
No get your own shows on that one.
Yeah.
Just have at it.
Yep.
Go for it. It's interesting though. So, I mean, apparently we can reach out to that Orthodox church and be like, hey, we're coming in. We're new.
Oh yeah.
So that could be cool.
That'd be cool. Don't put a spotlight on us, but
No.
You have to wear a suit?
I wonder. So one of the websites I was reading, the Orthodox church that's really close to where we live.
Yeah.
It says in terms of attire, like you wear something that is presentable, and in your heart, like what that is.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
You use common sense to decide like what is presentable.
The problem is, I think I have one pair of pants. I have two suits. I have two really nice suits. I wear those on special occasions. I should probably get like a casual suit at some point. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get like a casual suit. Because I don't want to show up in, a suit with a t-shirt. Like I don't want to overdress it, but then I'm also not going to a wedding. But still, like, some reverence, I think, is called for.
Reverence was the word that they used.
Yeah.
Dress in order to show reverence.
Yeah.
Something like that.
To please the Lord.
Well, I mean, for women, I feel like it's easy. We just put on a nice little dress.
Yeah. Not too much cleavage.
Oh. Dang.
Like, that's good. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Don't do that. You don't want to look too bountiful in front of the Lord.
Bountiful.
How about we leave it there and we go to locals and we do some questions?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, and if there's anything you guys want us to talk about the next episode, let us know, because I think the next one's also going to be a solo.
Yeah, the next debrief. Yeah, we should probably get some things together to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk more.
We can do a general Q&A on the next one as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely take some questions, and then we'll take a couple of like topics.
Yes.
Maybe something like immigration, not because we've talked about that a lot, but a topic like that we can address.
Right. Well, I mean, this episode will go up around, if you're looking at your clock now, it's probably somewhere around 10 o'clock in the morning, because it'll premiere tomorrow at 9 or today at 9.
Today
if you're
at
watching.
9.
Yeah, exactly.
It has premiered.
So head on over to locals and that video will be live as well. So thanks, guys, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
I did it myself.
Thanks. I did it myself.